guys, welcome back to another video. Sorry about my voice, I have a bit of a cold at the moment, but I want to show you how to make the most delicious soft Japanese milk buns, and they are incredible. So in here we've got 350 grams of plain flour. We have around 30 grams of salted butter. Here I've got my yeast, and it's 7 grams of yeast, and the one brand that I'm using today is Easy Bake Yeast by Allison's. I've had quite a good rises with this brand, so I thought I'd let you know about that. I've got some sugar in here, and it's 3 tablespoons, and in here I've got 2 teaspoons of salt, which works out to be around, I think I weighed it as about 20 grams. And then here I've got 200 mils of warm milk. Now the milk has to be warm because it activates the yeast. So the first thing we do is, into our warm milk, we're going to dissolve the sugar, and we're going to put in our yeast, and we need to give that a good stir, and the sugar will help to activate the yeast quickly. So let that dissolve, stir it until most of those lumps have gone, which is about now. And then what we're going to do is set that to the side for around 10 minutes. And we'll come back to that. Right, so now we're going to tip in our flour, and it's plain flour we're using, which we said was 350 grams. And we've got our mixture here that's been resting with our milk, yeast and sugar. And we're going to pour this straight in. And what I like to do is use the back of the spoon to try and bring the mixture together so your hands don't get too sticky. Doesn't take too long. Once it gets to this point, you can go in with your hands and bring it all together. If you feel that it's a bit too dry, then you can add some liquid to it. Only a little bit more. Each flour is different, so some flours tend to be more dry than others. It just depends on the brand that you're using. But it should clean away the pan or the bowl that you're mixing in. Once it's at this stage, this is where I add my salt. Now, I don't like to add salt directly to yeast, so I add the salt in around here. And we're just going to mix that all in now to make sure it's completely incorporated. It just makes sure that if the yeast does touch the salt at the beginning on contact, it will stop the yeast from rising, and you won't get lovely, soft, fluffy buns, which is what we're going for. So now it's the hard work. So what we're now going to do is open it up a little bit, and we're going to take our butter that we have, which is softened, and we need to enrich the dough with this butter. And you want to sort of enclose it on in itself. It does get a bit gloopy and slimy and sticky, but this is going to make the dough really soft and delicious when it cooks. And now what we do with this dough is we have to knead it for 10 minutes. If you have a cake mixer, you can put it on the dough attachment and knead it for around 4 minutes. It actually doesn't need a lot of mixing in the cake stand, and so 5 to 10 minutes by hand is absolutely fine. You just want to bring the dough together and to make sure all the kind of stickiness is gone, and so it rolls into a nice ball. So what I'll do is I'll keep kneading, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. So I'm about 2 or 3 minutes into kneading, and if you can see, it's still quite lumpy. And we want to make sure that this becomes really smooth and elastic. As you can see, as I'm stretching it, it's going to kind of break in pieces. So the best way to knead is to hold one section like that and pull and stretch, roll it back into it itself, and then again roll and stretch. So I'm going to keep going for another 5 minutes, I'd say. good arm workout because these are so delicious. You're going to want to eat the whole tray, so get your exercise in beforehand. Right guys, we're getting up to 10 minutes of kneading, and you can see it's gone really lovely and soft, and it's beginning to push back a little bit. So what we're now going to do is roll it into a nice ball, just like this. So get all the loose ends on one bit, and then roll it into a lovely round ball like this. And we're now going to transfer. I've got a bowl here, and I just want to put some oil in here. So we're just going to take our dough, roll it in the oil, and roll the other side in oil, just like that. So it's nicely oiled. And then what we're going to do is take some cling film and place it directly over the top. Now we want this to rest, and the resting time can vary depending on how warm your environment is. If you're in Mauritius, you've got probably 20 minutes until it rises. Here in the UK, it's going to take about 2 hours. But what you're looking for is for it to double in size. If it doesn't look like it's doubling, there's two things that could be happening. The first is that you're not resting it long enough, or the second is your yeast may have gone off. So 2 hours, you're going to rest this baby, and we'll come back to her later. So the bread's now been resting, and if you can see, it's definitely done its work. Looks beautiful. So now we have to knock the air out, which basically means that we're going to punch it. So just get your fist, and it's the most satisfying thing to do. So we're just going to knock that air out. What I'm going to do is put it back on my tray here. And all we now need to do is separate it into 12, because it's going to make 12 buns. So I'm going to just roll it up so that I know how many I'm going to make. And then I'm going to make 12 equal buns. So what I like to do is roll it into a ball like that. And then I'm going to grab my knife and equally make 12 sections. You can weigh this if you want to be like super precise, but I find this is kind of as good as it gets. That looks a bit tiny, so I'll see how I get one of those. And then all I'm going to do with each one of these is just pull them out, and we're just going to roll these into balls. They should be all equal. So all we want to do is make 12 equal balls. And what, if you can see what I'm doing, I'm trying to basically make sure the tops are completely flat, and I'm bringing all the creases to the kind of bottom part of the bun. And once it's there, I just like to roll them, so you end up with no creases at the top of the bun. A bit like that. I don't like adding any more flour at this point, because I find that the buns really dry out. So here, if you can see, move this over, I've just got my parchment paper lined into a roasting dish, and we're going to just give them a bit of space. So we're going to try and get all 12 on there. So I'm just going to go rolling now. So now all we're going to do is cover this with cling film and let these rest for another half an hour. You want them to expand and grow a little bit, and they'll end up being super, super fluffy. You can see they're all about the same size, which is perfect. Right, look at these babies. They've been resting now for about half an hour, and they sort of are sticking next to each other, which is exactly what we want. Now what I like to do is dust them with corn flour, and some people egg wash them, but I just think they look so beautiful. So I'm just going to put some corn flour on top of each one, and then we're going to oven bake them. Like a lovely snowy top to these beautiful rolls. That is enough. Perfect. So these are now going to bake for 25 minutes at 180, and then we're going to rest them for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes you can eat them. Okay guys, I'm going to open one up. I've been so patiently waiting for this. Oh, look at how soft and fluffy they are on the inside. They are so soft and milky, fluffy, and they deserve to be slathered in butter, just like that. Perfect warm. I'm going to do another one, just go into here so you can see. All very soft, and they're all kind of stuck together, which is perfect. I'll just open up another one for you so you can see. Oh, it's still so warm. So fluffy, guys. You have to make this recipe. It's fantastic. I hope you love this recipe, guys. There you go. My soft, fluffy, milky Japanese milk breads.